Hello Aquarius, and welcome to your February 2025 forecast. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. This reading is going to help you navigate the rest of this month, even a little bit into the next month. And I want to start off by saying thank you so much for your patience. As you know, I've been traveling due to the wildfires in Los Angeles, so that means that the schedule is a little bit different than usual. We'll get caught up eventually, but in the meantime, it's about prioritizing health and well-being, and I try to walk the walk and talk the talk, and that's what I'm doing. That being said, I always like to make it up to any signs that have to wait. So starting with the March readings that I'll be pushing out later this month, we'll flip the order. And that means that Pisces and Aquarius are going to be first. So you'll get yours before everybody else. And it all evens out in the end. So thanks for your patience. Let's go ahead and talk about what came through in channel messages. For you, I saw the image of a beautiful sunflower. And this I would immediately connect to the Queen of Wands. What Spirit told me was it's time to lead, not follow. And sunflower is a heliotropic symbol. It follows the energy of the sun, but I keep seeing the Queen of Wands holding that sunflower, which is basically saying you're setting the pace, you're shining your light, your insights, and this is your moment to really exercise all of that energy of authority and also the sort of intuitive and inspirational and sort of inventive energy that the Queen of Wands embodies as well. And then just looking at the sunflower, I think of the sun itself. And that also is a symbol of birthing, creating, and cycles. So this is a really good time as we're stepping into what's left of February and even the beginning of March to think about stepping into something new. And really feeling like it's going to get even better or better if it hasn't been a great month. I see things shifting. I see a new cycle coming forth. And the main theme here is your power, your confidence, and your ability to speak up, all right? So as we take a look at the cards here in just a moment, I'll look for those cycles that might come through. We'll look for opportunities to kind of lean into your power. And of course, we'll also look for the leadership opportunities. Let's get started. All right, let's take a look at your catalyst today. We have a beautiful swan coming through representing three different energies here. Love, the ability to feel alluring, and then this purity energy that comes forth. I want to start with the purity. This kind of reminds me of clearing things out of your life. So there may be some things, and I can even see it here in the high level view of the spread, the 5 of Swords, the 10 of Swords, and the 7, that need to be purified or cleansed or removed. The alluring piece is the Sun and the Knight of Cups, something in the environment and an aspect of your own personality. And all of that brings in the ability for you to experience love and opportunity in the highest forms. When I see a swan, I also think of a very graceful animal, something that can enter into this next phase with a sense of dignity, comfort, and ease. And I really wish that for you as well. Let's look for areas of love and forgiveness as we go through this spread. We'll start off with a very optimistic card at the center, 3 of Wands. And I love the way this is illustrated. You can see these tendrils reaching out towards what it is she's trying to manifest. She's also reaching for that ship. It's such a different version of 3 of Wands. In the traditional one, there's a man that's passively sitting at the top of a hill, gazing out to the distance, waiting for the ships to come to him. In this illustration, she's saying, I am going to just reach out and make it happen. I really love an active 3 of Wands, but I like to remind people that you have to look in this direction, you have to look here, you have to look within. She's aware of it. Those tendrils are reaching in all directions so that she doesn't miss one potential opportunity. So the more you're aware, the more you're in this optimistic and curious energy, the quicker something can manifest. Because If you were to ask me when, and I pull a card like this, I would say it's right now. It's just a matter of your ability to perceive it and to receive it. So really focus on being ready to receive, and we'll look and see where these opportunities might be knocking. Before I talk about the Nine of Pentacles, which is crossing this, one more thing came to mind with Three of Wands, which is travel. It could be a really great time for you to explore new things, especially if you're in that deciding phase and wondering, like, is this a fit? So whether you're a student looking at schools, perhaps you're with your partner looking at new places to live, or you just want to explore a little bit and see what is out there, the Three of Wands is absolutely connected to all of these things. So it's a perfect time to travel if you want to. All right, on top of this, we have the Nine of Pentacles. It's touching everything around it. And what I love about this is it shows self-sufficiency, independence, and the ability to basically improve things like resources in your life. One thing that this card definitely is fiercely independent. So there's a time and a place for that. There's also kind of like a flip side on this, which is it's okay to receive help. It's okay to ask for help. So I just want to add that, even though this card is not reversed, it just came to mind. Because sometimes when we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, when we're used to being independent, when we're going through something difficult, we may just have a hard time reaching out. So don't be afraid to do that. All of that being said, this Nine of Pentacles is coming through and it's reminding you slow and steady wins the race. My favorite little snail is up there in the corner, and that represents, again, taking your time. It doesn't matter how quickly you do something if you have to go back and repeat it because it wasn't done right the first time. So look at the long-term goals. Allow yourself to set the pace that feels right for you, and know that at the end of this month, Nine of Pentacles is representing abundance. As we take a look at your deep past, it's really interesting because the deep past and what's coming through with you right now are at odds, but in a very good way. You're coming through with more integrity. Seven of Swords in the upright position here, representing self, would normally be someone who has a difficult time being honest with themselves or others, but the reversal is seeing through the facades. And what we see here in the past is someone that is trying to use a facade in order to sometimes get their way or even hide behind something. So Five of Swords can be a person in your life who lacks honesty, integrity, or transparency. You call them out on something and they're not listening. They'll talk their way around it. It can be someone also who nags and kind of like tries to push the finger of blame back at you. And the main thing here is it's just not worth the conversation. Someone isn't ready to listen. Someone isn't ready to take accountability. And in this moment, you don't have the time to spend on that. You've worked too hard to get to this point to let someone else try to step in and, kind of obscure the view. This can be the inner saboteur. This is a voice that would say, you're not good enough, smart enough, young enough, old enough, experienced enough, whatever. You insert the blank. And sometimes it comes from a parent, a coworker, or a boss, but it can be our own voice too. Wherever that saboteur is, see it for what it is, let it go. It's in the past. I would love for you to leave it in the past, okay? So this Five of Swords is better left where it's at. What we have now is growth and hopefully stability for many of you, because Pentacles represents a newfound grounding. If we look closely on this card, there's a beautiful dragonfly. Dragonflies have the capacity to move in a new direction. If you don't like where you're at, you can change it up. If you've worked hard to get to this moment, continue to work hard and see it through to the finish line. There could be some good news on the horizon. A Page of Pentacles can represent a job or an opportunity that's being handed to you. It can be recognition, like a gold star, and basically I love what I see here. Speak up if you want something. Pages communicate value, worth, and maybe even what's missing. But with it in the upright position, you have a really good chance of accomplishing whatever it is that you're trying to create, or again, if there's something that's missing, you can get it. And really just put your time and energy into one thing. Really allow yourself to focus, and that focus is going to bring the abundance that you deserve. Crowning position. Seeking out a firmer foundation. It could be because in the deep past, you might have had to deal with someone like this. Now we have Four of Wands. It's reversed. So there's a little bit of mental recalibration that needs to be done before you can accomplish it, because this is representing the headspace. So some of you may still be thinking to yourself, can I really do that? Am I really worth it? And when an opportunity is handed to you, because again, Let's just turn the camera down here. We have Three of Wands at the center. So this is manifestation. This is a card of worthiness. And for some reason, there's a little bit of doubt here. I think it could be because you or someone around you is coming through with criticism. Don't be so critical. You deserve a change. You deserve an upgrade. It's okay for things to be stable and maintainable, and for somebody to come through and to give you the support that you deserve. All right, I like this. This also is just saying, don't rush into a commitment until you and the other party feels ready. Rushing into the commitment won't fix it. And one of the areas that you want to be mindful of here is this. If there is a tendency to argue, if there's stress, if there's pain, just committing isn't going to change that. It's just going to tie you to that. So the most important thing here is to make sure that before you accept a job, before you jump into a relationship, before you commit to something where there might be some issues with, accountability or honesty, as we see with this card, or again, maybe criticism, that needs to be out of the picture first. You need to feel like you're on the same level. There's no fighting, there's no acrimony. Ten of Swords is also a warning not to take on too much stress this month. If your family is driving you crazy, if your job is driving you up a wall, if whatever it is that's kind of adding to that sense of increased anxiety or stress, it's absolutely within your right to just say, no, I've had enough, or this isn't okay. Or to call someone out in the best way possible, say, no, actually, this is what we talked about. Here it is. So I know you're saying this, but this is where we're at. When you're ready to talk about it, let's reconnect. Hold people to account. And if they aren't ready to come to the table and basically talk, you really deserve something better. So hold firm to your boundaries. If you are already at that point where you're feeling burnt out, take some time. The Three of Wands, like I said, is a card of traveling. It isn't always seen as that, but you can see her holding the ship here. And it's saying that a change of direction, a change of environment can completely help you recalibrate and help you see something from a new perspective. So take the necessary time that you need and get the necessary perspective and talk to some other people if you need it as well. This is too much pressure that you're putting on yourself. This can also just be a fear of failure. If you're falling into this camp of feeling way too much stress, just remember that success is something that is iterative. There are high points, there are challenges, and they all equal education and opportunity. You can make the best out of anything. So don't worry so much if you're succeeding every day. Worry more about learning, growing, and expanding. And as long as that's happening, that's success. Success actually is very subjective. Each and every person is going to have a different definition. So let that also be a liberating moment to realize you can't make everybody happy. You got to focus on learning from your experiences. And remember, there is no failure if you are learning something valuable. But what you can do in this moment is release pain as a teacher. You no longer need to experience it. Say, thank you, universe, for that. I'm now ready for ease. I'm ready for love, for allure, for purity, for these better things to come through, because this isn't a lot of fun and it isn't necessary anymore. As I take a look at this Seven of Swords, it's really about being honest with yourself and honest with others. So this particular illustration chose to illustrate self-serving motives or greed, because we can see this person hoarding all of the eggs or all of the money or all of the energy. If we look at the traditional illustration, we can see someone trying to get away with something. So one thing that you can do is an internal audit and think, am I being real with myself? Am I putting things off? Am I over-promising? Am I just not sort of like doing what I need to do? And if there's anything in your life that you need to change there, just change it. If you notice someone that's trying to get away with something or has a self-serving motive and is trying to project innocence, you just call it out and say, let's be real here. This is really what we're talking about. Why don't you just say it? Why don't we just talk about this? And bringing it into the spotlight will help heal, and it's also going to help this person from trying to do that again in the future. So lead by example and be as transparent, authentic, and honest as possible. And if someone around you is lacking the integrity to do the same, it might be time to cut the cords. But at the very least, it's important to have the conversation and get real. And that's basically what I see with this, is to be as real and as honest as possible. We have a very favorable card here in the environment, the Knight of Cups. If you're looking for love, it could be coming through. If you're feeling this newfound surge of inspiration and creativity. Do something with it. We actually see a musician here, a lotus blossom, so crown chakra awakening, a lot of energy moving here. Do something with it, something positive. People are looking at you as someone who is likable, lovable even, creative, and inspirational. So don't second guess that. That is why, my friends, in the crowning position here, you have Four of Wands. That is why in Hope, Spheres, and Opportunity, the sun is coming through. You have a chance this month to shine, but you have to believe it. You have to see what I can see here, and then just go for it. The sun is birthing, recreating, it is personality, it is alluring, it is also organizational. You've got all of that this month. The biggest challenge is getting to the sun card is this self-critical energy here or external criticism coming in. Maybe someone around you that lacks honesty or integrity, maybe someone around you that just doesn't want to listen. These could be aspects of yourself too, but if we can release those, everything else in this spread is amazingly awesome, including the outcome here, which is a skeleton key, Ace of Swords. A door is ready to be opened. You have the key already. We saw at the center of this spread the ability for almost instantaneous manifestation. Again, besides the swords cards, there could also just be this fierce independence that could be stepping in and making it a little bit difficult. But however long you've been waiting for something, I feel like right now it's getting exciting. We see the skeleton key, we see the snail, we see another snail here. It was the long game. It was worth it. Like sometimes it's worth waiting for something. And that's another message that's coming forth for those of you that need to hear it. Put in the effort, do it right the first time. Whatever you're waiting for, it's coming. We see Three of Wands either now or in the next 3 or 4 weeks. And we start to see this sort of breakthrough energy. Let's take it a step further and we'll look at the expanded forecast, health, wealth, love, and destiny. We'll begin with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. And the important thing here, and I've seen this time and again for everyone in February, is self-care. So we have King of Cups energy in reverse. We have another swan. By the way, there might be a divine, oh, look at that. I'm using different decks here, but there could be a divine partnership coming through for some of you. In order to meet that partnership, however, it's necessary for you to take care of your heart. Like we're talking both about your emotional sense, but maybe also like physical, because that's what I'm seeing. And also in the environment, we literally have like a traditional heart, not the sort of like animated one, but the heart. So emotional and mental well-being, absolutely important. If you're feeling heavy emotions, if you're just feeling intensity, it's okay, talk it out, reach out for help. You don't have to do this all alone. Let's see what else is coming through from a health perspective here. As I said, Ten of Swords can represent the stress that this is illustrating. The traditional Ten of Swords, though, has a lot of focus on upper and middle back, so even lower back. If there's anything going on with spinal health, work with your doctor on that. It's also just burnout. And, it makes sense, particularly when combined with this. There could just be this emotional, like you've had enough, and there could be this feeling that I need to take some time off. I remember working with somebody at one of the companies that I had back in my corporate days where she prayed for a sick day. She said, it would be such a relief to just be sick because I could sit at home and relax. And I thought to myself, use a vacation day. You don't have to get sick in order to take a break. Don't work yourself to the point of exhaustion. There are better ways, and you owe it to yourself to not go to that point. All right, let's look at some other stuff. These 3 cards can represent people in your life that you just don't need to connect with. This is an argumentative person. This is a person that doesn't listen. And this is someone who's trying to get away with something. They could be the same person. Or they could be different people putting that energy forth. You're going to lean on your ability to focus on the horizon. You're going to speak up as needed with the Ace of Swords. You're going to shine a light on this stuff and say enough is enough. And you're going to open yourself up for something better that we see here. Other things that I'm picking up on here, this can also be you trying to convince yourself it's going to be okay because there's a habit that you need to release, because there's a person in your life that isn't good news. I want you instead to say, why don't I just make the change today? Why don't I have the conversation now? Let's cut the cords, let's cut the nonsense, and let's focus on bigger, better, brighter things. There could be a new child coming into the picture because we have the Sun card here and we have a good news energy with the Knight of Cups, so there could be an announcement of that. Overall, it's a pretty manageable month. I think the main thing here is self-care, and especially when it comes to emotions. Let's expand to the next area. We just looked at health. We're going to move on to wealth, and we have a wonderful Six of Cups here. There is a transplanting energy here. So in wealth, you may be thinking of moving. You may be thinking of changing careers, changing majors, changing it up. It takes a while when you transplant something for those roots to basically get situated again. The traditional Six of Cups also harkens back to core relationships from the past. There could be someone that you met in school or in childhood or just a favorite coworker, and they're entering into the picture again. This is also the inner child coming through, creative, loving, kind of connected to everything that we see here with the swan, love, allure, and purity, because that basically is childhood, right? So you need to connect with this inner child in order to break through and see what else is coming forth this month. Let's break this down a little bit, and we're going to look at it in 5 subcategories. I'll shuffle the cards and we'll call them out as I'm doing that. All right, so we'll start off with those who are presently employed. Then we'll go to job seekers. Actually, we'll save that for job seekers, but also I want to insert entrepreneurs before that, then job seekers. Then we'll look at students, and finally, retirees. Okay, let's start off with those who are presently employed. It connects with the Ten of Swords. So we have Nine of Swords coming through, which is a wake-up call. So this represents oftentimes a stressful environment where there's not great leadership or there's just too much on your plate. And there may be some gaslighting going on where people are trying to convince you that this is okay. But you have to listen to your own instincts here and push back if you're feeling that sense of stress or pressure. This is also an opportunity for you to find better outlets in your life than just sort of like bottling it up. You need to perhaps talk to someone, exercise, art, poetry, therapy, whatever it is where you can find a creative outlet. And of course, like I said earlier with that example, take some time off if you need it. Other things that I'm seeing for those of you that are currently working. Yes, stress management comes through, but I also see things like the ability for you to rise up. This could be promotion. There could be good news. There could be a new opportunity that you could open up. The biggest challenges, though, are historically people don't always come through with their promises. So get everything in writing and make sure that you don't have to argue or fight for it, because you'll be able to show it like in black and white. Things can manifest pretty quickly. They may not all happen this month. It could be 2 or 3 weeks, but it could be 2 or 3 months. Traveling could also help you if you're willing to do that for a job or for an opportunity. Speak up if you need something, but overall, I really like the spread. And I think the main thing here is not to take on too much pressure and allow yourself, again, to relax without getting sick or without kind of burning out. All right, let's move on now to entrepreneurs. We have the Four of Swords coming through. This represents for some of you maybe a quieter quarter or a period where you're slowing down a little bit to basically take inventory, to audit a little bit and decide what's next. I also mentioned that it might be time for a break or vacation. That can represent this as well. And this can also just be closing of a chapter. What I loved about this spread today is we have the Sun card. So one thing could be coming to a close and you might be announcing something new. This could open you up to something even better. Don't be afraid to retire a product or to sort of like streamline things a bit. It'll reduce stress. It'll help you focus your efforts on what matters most. As we look here at the Ten of Swords, there's a reminder here not to basically argue with other people if at all possible. And I feel like this could be an angry customer, an angry comment, negative review. When I'm looking at the energy of this person, they're trying to pick a fight. It's so hard when there's someone that's just unreasonable, unkind, or wrong sometimes in a comment. But like when it comes to a business review, like something on Yelp or Google reviews, respond kindly and then let it go. There are better places to put your energy than that. And I am picking up on that for some of you that own a business. The other thing here is, again, it feels like it's a prime time for you to travel. I see an ability to reinvest or to move things around. In order to do that, again, there might be something that you have to let go of, but ultimately we see a new opportunity knocking. Partnerships are the key to success. If you have any of this energy, time to cut that out this month. But overall, the Sun card, the Ace of Swords, the Knight of Cups, all very, very favorable. So lean into that this month. Putting your passion out there, and also allowing for people to see just how connected and committed you are to the success of something as well. Okay, moving onward now. For those of you that are job seeking, we have Seven of Cups in reverse. A feeling of being overwhelmed, like what do I do next, or what am I doing wrong, or how do I make this work? And we want to sort of like end scene on that, let it go, because you're building up stress, your inner saboteur is coming forth, and ultimately we have an ace and a page here working to help you find something better. There is an encouragement to look in a different direction. It doesn't necessarily have to be a physical move. It could just be pivoting into a different career, like an adjacent career track than where you're at right now. The other thing that I see here is when you're looking for new jobs, be mindful of overtime, be mindful of the morale, and also really make sure that you get everything that you need in writing in that initial contract. It's easier at the beginning to negotiate than to have to fight for it later, okay? But that being said, we do have an ace here. We have a waiting period of like three weeks, hopefully for most of you. And it does look like you can get what you want for the most part financially on this. So definitely when it comes to negotiating, make sure that you put what you need out there on the table and do your homework to see what you're worth. Okay, it's a good month, but we want to avoid jobs where there's an expectation for giving so much that there's nothing left at the end of the day. You want to make sure that that's there. The other thing here is just give yourself some time to meditate and get clear on things. This card is one that basically encourages research, dreaming, and exploration, but it can get to a point where it's overwhelming. So at that juncture, it might be good to partner up with someone and get the support that you need. All right, let's move on now to students. We have a perfect card for students coming forth. Three of Pentacles energy represents learning and mastery. I would much rather see it in the upright position. What could be going on for some of you is either difficulty in concentrating or focusing, or on a more sort of existential level, it could be a question that you're asking yourself, which is, how does this class that I'm taking, this project that I'm doing, apply to the world at large? So you can ask that in a kind, non-confrontational way. Just say, help me understand the real life applications of this so that I can better prepare and so that I can get excited about it. Because sometimes things seem too abstract, right? Talk to friends, talk to teachers, talk to mentors, and see if you can't get that perspective that you might need. There may also be something that needs a little bit of revision. So a Three of Pentacles is very close, but when reversed, there's a couple of things that might need finishing touches. So you might want someone to proof it or edit it or give you some feedback. And don't wait until you're completed to get there. As someone who's written a book before, one thing that I learned and I will change this time is to send chapters as I go to the editor so that there's a chance to fine-tune it before you've written the whole thing, right? It's much easier at the beginning to say, wait, where's this going? Or have you thought about this? Or look at the outline, does this make sense? And you can get strategic from the get-go. So I talked about iterations when it comes to a project. Share the early drafts, share the work in progress, get the feedback, take what you need, leave the rest, okay? Ultimately though, Three of Pentacles is a great card for study. It's showing me that anything that you really apply yourself to, you're going to see success and return on the energetic investment. In fact, this three will work with this three. Three of Pentacles, Three of Wands. This is very good. Whatever you're lining up here will get you in the right path for the future. I see some burnout and mental stress. I see some also morale issues, or maybe some people around you, classmates that aren't pulling their fair share. Speak up, push back, don't allow that to happen if at all possible. The good news for you though is I see self-sufficiency. I see you absorbing this. I see this working really well in the long run, some core relationships being formed, and a great opportunity. So don't sweat the small stuff. Anything that seems really big this month, it's not as big as you might think, and it feels like you can get past it based on what I'm seeing here. I am getting another message here, which is document everything. It comes through for everyone, but Three of Pentacles is on the dotted line. So make sure that people are that you're getting some sort of like a signature or an agreement or a record of what's being said. There could also just be like a brainstorming session where you don't want to miss something, so that's what the document everything can mean. All right, finally, retirees. For some of you, it's hard to slow down. I think that's the hardest part about like leaving a job or leaving a career or just stepping back, is this feeling like I gotta go, I gotta do something. For at least a few days, just kind of sit where you're at and get strategic. Heal what needs to be healed mentally and physically. Release energies around you that anchor you. Get in touch with that inner child that we also saw. I don't know if it's still there. I shuffled the card. So I showed you at the beginning the little children for the Six of Cups. But we also see here the heartstrings coming through. Really do something that makes you feel this sense of, I'm connected to my passion, I'm connected to my power. What I'm seeing here as an opportunity this month, if you're retired, is better partnerships, more creativity, and something that opens your mind to the possibilities. Maybe you're deciding to audit and take a class at a local college, or you want to write, you want to get inspired. This is a time to really do anything that expands your consciousness. And in doing so, you might actually end up meeting somebody too. This is a nice segue. Let's look at love and relationships. This is going to help you navigate all the different types of relationships in your life. But before we get too deep into it, the biggest challenge for all relationships this month could be this, the Ten of Swords and communication. The good news is when we look at the card associated with love this month, it is Mother of Cups, Queen of Cups. And so we have divine partnerships coming through multiple times. We have the King and the Queen here. And then we also have a card that's facing in the same direction, showing that for many of you, this is the focus. You might be looking at building alliances, building a partnership, falling in love, connecting with your passion. All of that is comprised within this. Let's break it down a little bit deeper and see what's going on here. We're going to go into 3 categories, or I should say in more detail. We're going to look at those of you that are currently partnered. Then we're going to look at those that are seeking partnership. And finally, those that are happily single. All right, if you're partnered, no surprise here. It's kind of connected with the health card. It's taking care of you. Emotions could be running high, and the Knight of Cups is slowing down and tuning in and saying, where do I stop and you begin? How do I truly feel about this? Am I overreacting or am I underreacting? It's just getting in touch with your heart. Let's take a moment here, because this is such a powerful indication of what might be going on in relationships. So here's the Knight representing the overall spread, but this is what's going on around you. There could be someone that is playing your heartstrings. And the way that they're playing the heartstrings could be in a less than sort of honest way. So they know how to say something that can get under your skin. This doesn't necessarily have to be your partner. It's in the environment. It could be a friend, a family member, or a coworker. Whoever it is, if it's not your partner, lean on the partner for support and insight. That's what the Four of Wands is all about here. And whoever might be doing this, enough is enough, right? You're very persuasive. This can also represent the way people see you. So use your persuasion in a positive trajectory, in a positive way. Try to heal these swords sort of cards that came through. So again, honesty, integrity, and kindness will really help you get over the Ten of Swords, Five of Swords, and Seven of Swords. On the bright side, I do see a very charismatic card here with the Sun and with the Knight of Cups. I feel like you can work it out. And I feel like, again, communication is the key. I love you. I'm sorry. I see you. All of those things can also help with this. Accountability, I think, is the biggest thing. Focus on your mental and emotional health, and then focus on accountability and honesty overall. Those are the biggest challenges in relationships. Some of the best things, though, is I'm seeing maybe some growth and movement in career. We're seeing the ability for some projects, goals, and dreams to come to fruition. We see a deepening of the relationship, but there is an argument or a potential argument in front of you, but you can avoid it. Honesty is key. Honesty is really important here. And I think as long as you're honest with each other, you can get through this. If you're looking for love this month, we have the Six of Swords coming forth, and this represents change, movement, and transition. Also, it's kind of showing that the way to meet someone is to get out and about. It could be while you're on a bigger business trip or just traveling. It could simply be running an errand, going to the bank, going to the store, walking the dog. So as long as you keep moving and keep moving things forward, if and when you're supposed to meet someone, that's how it happens while you're out and about. The person that's coming through could also be from a different background, different city, state, country, or province, different culture, different language. There's something about them that is not familiar, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, as we look at the last 3 cards, it could be great. We see a potential water sign in the Knight of Cups. We see absolute attraction in the Sun card and in the Ace of Swords. Now, are there blocks this month to meeting someone? Absolutely. If you don't take care of yourself, you might get sick or burned out. You may be a little bit argumentative and get into a space where someone sees that and they're not attracted to that. So that's why it's important to slow down, move backward from this energy, and don't take the bait here if you feel like you want to argue. There's some folks in the past here, like the Page of Pentacles, an earth sign connected to the Five of Swords. I would say if there's someone in the past that just had a hard time listening, they still may have a hard time listening. Leave it in the past. I do think that this new energy coming forth may start more in a friendship vibe, but it could go much deeper in the long run. So take it slowly and enjoy. I think that's the key thing here. And know that you are deserving and ready to receive. The Queen of Cups is all of that. If you're interested, speak up. The Ace of Swords here is coming through and just opening up the conversation. It doesn't have to be even asking someone out, just talking and seeing where it might lead. And if it's not too much work, I think that's a good thing and you'll be able to sort it out. The only thing that I think could be difficult here is some of you might be on the move, like traveling so much and you're so stressed out that you're not allowing yourself to kind of open up to that. So self-care is everything. Once you are at a place where you feel healthy, where you've cut out some of these energies, you can truly shine and that energy is going to come rushing towards you. But I'm getting a water sign as the ideal partner here, and it does feel like things would progress pretty quickly once the self-care is maintained. All right, finally, if you're single and happy, good for you. The sky is the limit. We have the Two of Wands, which I then also would connect with like High Priestess or Magician, because this card empowers that. So this is a time where you can really set things into motion. Notice how the person always holds a globe. So they're kind of looking at long-term goals and where they're at right now. And once you know where you're going and you just say, I'm ready, the universe starts to open pathways towards that. And it should help you find a connection to that in the long run. Finally, let's focus on your destiny card. We have the beautiful Seven of Wands coming through, and it's a very unusual illustration. So normally we would have someone holding a wand and kind of like pushing back on too much energy. The energy of people demanding things and putting more on your plate. This one is just saying, hey, here's how we're going to do this. It's standing up and using the leadership energy of the Six of Wands, which precedes it. And now it's saying, here's how we can make this happen. Lighting the path, leading the way, and that naturally pushes people back a little bit. There's also a message here that you don't have to go on the defensive. Part of the reason is some people want to argue, some people can't listen, some people aren't being honest. So instead you're just going to say, nah, that's not what we talked about. This is what we talked about. And this is how we're going to do it. So be honest, be clear, stick to the facts, and know that you are maybe in an area of more scrutiny because people see you as possibly a threat because you're succeeding, because you're getting ready for that next big leap, for that next big step. Speaking of that, let's take a look. I'm sure you have at least one final question for me. So this is your opportunity to position that to the universe and just say, what should I do? And let's take a look. Or what is this about? Because that's a better question for tarot. All right. We have the Eight of Cups. Hello, thank you, universe, for echoing what I said. So this is a person getting some space and distance. Maybe taking a trip, possibly a sabbatical, or simply 5 minutes outside just to clear their mind and think, where am I? Where's my energy standing right now? What do I want? And now how do I get there? You can leave the door open. If there was something that you really aren't sure on, just say, I need some time and space to figure this out. Can I take a couple weeks? Can I take a couple months? Or you can just say, I'm deciding to go in this direction, but if I change my mind, can I come back? There could also be someone that doesn't want to let you go, and they'll say what you want, which is, if you ever change your mind, let me know. The reversed Eight of Cups can also represent making and breaking cycles. This is a perfect time to do both. So if there's something that you want to release, let it go. If there's something that you want to start, rev it up. This can also be a chance for you to simply say goodbye. Second chances are comprised within this card as well. So if you've always wanted to do something, I mentioned earlier that this is a time to really embark on that and lead that. So absolutely, let's get that sunflower energy here and say, yes, now is the time, now is the place, and I am ready. So Aquarius, that brings your reading to a close. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and also follow notifications. That way you will get an email or a little blip on your phone whenever I post something new. But you can also follow me on social media just in case those notifications don't work. It's Nicholas Ashbaugh on all the major platforms. NicholasAshbaugh.com on Blue Sky, which is also, by the way, my website, NicholasAshbaugh.com. So if you need any more information, you can always go there. And if you'd like to give back and show some extra support, you can do so with super stickers, super chat, and also with memberships. And all of these help me produce brand new content, including all of the podcasts, which I basically operate at a loss right now. I just do them because I like them. So I use all of the membership energy and money to kind of go towards that. So thank you in advance if you want more podcasts. You can give back with stickers or you can become a member. And it's a great way to allow me to do more fun conversations. And just a reminder, I don't give any private readings, so if you ever see someone trying to direct message you or offer a product or service like that, block, report, and let me know. Let's bring Apollo up for the very end here. Hey buddy, let's say goodbye to everyone. Oh, yeah, he was hiding in the background here. Thank you so much, Aquarius. Again, I appreciate your patience, your ability to kind of just let me take care of myself, travel with this little guy, clean my lungs, and get centered after all of the stuff that was going on in Los Angeles. I really appreciate the community here. I wish you guys the best. Check out my daily, weekly, and monthly videos, the podcasts that I mentioned, and in the meantime, take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful month ahead. And again, I'll be doing your video second in the next round of videos, so thank you so much. So from my heart to yours, wishing you all the best.